A man who truly understands what it means to be a man begins with one principle above all else: responsibility. Not the kind of responsibility that is handed to you or the kind that you hope someone else will remind you to take. Real responsibility is ownership. Ownership of your choices, your actions, and your life. Every decision you make, every moment you spend, every word you speak has consequences, and the man who embraces responsibility understands this deeply. He does not blame others when things go wrong. He does not wait for someone to fix the problems in his life. He steps forward and says, "This is mine. I will handle it. I will make it right." Responsibility is not a burden, it is a measure of freedom. Because when you own your life, when you accept full accountability for your actions, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You stop being carried by the tides of other people's expectations or mistakes. You set your own course. You become the captain of your ship, steering it with intention through storms that would drown those who refuse to take control. It's easy to blame the world, to point fingers, to tell yourself that life is unfair. But those are excuses, and a man who truly wants to grow beyond ordinary knows that excuses are the chains that bind potential. Taking responsibility means looking in the mirror and being honest. It means acknowledging your flaws and your failures, not to punish yourself, but to understand them, learn from them, and move forward stronger. It means owning your successes as well, not letting them make you arrogant, but letting them remind you of what you are capable of when you act decisively, when you refuse to shrink from the challenges in front of you. Responsibility is the bridge between who you are today and who you are meant to become. Every great achievement, every moment of triumph begins with this decision to accept ownership of your life, no matter how difficult or inconvenient it may be. And make no mistake, embracing responsibility will not always be easy. There will be times when the weight of it feels unbearable, when you question whether you are ready, whether you are strong enough. But these are the moments that define you. The man who endures, who faces these challenges with integrity, courage, and unwavering commitment is the man who grows. This is how character is forged, how confidence is built, and how respect, both for yourself and from others, is earned. To be a man is to stand tall, to hold your life in your hands, and to say, without hesitation, I am accountable. I am responsible. I will rise to the occasion. Courage is not something you are born with. It is something you choose every single day. To be a man is to understand that fear is not the enemy. It is a signal that you are about to step into growth, into challenge, into the unknown. Life will constantly test you, and the difference between the man who achieves and the man who falters is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Every decision that matters, every risk worth taking, comes with uncertainty. The brave man does not wait for the storm to pass. He learns to stand firm in it, to walk through it, and to emerge stronger on the other side. Fear has a way of whispering lies in your ear, convincing you that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that you will fail. But these are not truths. They are illusions that seek to keep you small, to keep you comfortable, to keep you from becoming the man you were meant to be. Courage is the choice to confront those lies, to move forward when your heart pounds and your mind screams to retreat. It is the refusal to let fear dictate your actions, the understanding that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Every man who has ever achieved greatness has faced moments of doubt and uncertainty, but what separates them is their ability to rise, to take action, and to persist when the world says it is too dangerous, too hard, or too risky. Developing courage does not mean you never hesitate or never feel fear. It means that when fear appears, you acknowledge it, you respect it, and then you act anyway. It is a muscle that grows stronger with use. Each time you confront a challenge, each time you speak up when silence would be easier, each time you take a step toward your goals despite the anxiety and uncertainty, you strengthen that muscle. Over time, what once seemed terrifying becomes manageable, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. Courage is the gateway to confidence, And confidence is the fuel that propels men to heights they never imagined possible. A man who embraces courage inspires those around him, not through words but through action. He demonstrates that strength is not just physical but mental and moral. He shows that success is not given to the timid but earned by those willing to step into the unknown and face adversity with clarity and conviction. Life will always present challenges, setbacks, and moments that demand bravery, but the man who chooses courage will never be paralyzed. He will stand, he will fight, and he will move forward because he knows that the rewards of action far outweigh the comfort of inaction. To be a man is to look fear in the eye, to take the first step even when the path is unclear, and to say with unwavering resolve, I will not be ruled by fear. I will rise, I will act, and I will overcome. Discipline is the backbone of every man who achieves greatness. It is not something that arrives magically, nor is it a trait that can be borrowed from someone else. Discipline is a choice, a daily decision to control your actions, your time, and your impulses, even when it is uncomfortable. To be a man is to understand that without discipline, talent, ideas, and ambition are wasted. You may have dreams, but dreams without discipline are like a ship without a rudder, directionless and easily tossed by the waves of distraction and temptation. A man who builds discipline becomes unstoppable because he has learned to master the most difficult battlefield of all, himself. Discipline begins with small, consistent actions. It is waking up early when the world is still asleep, when your body cries for comfort, and saying, I will not let convenience decide my success. It is prioritizing what matters over what feels good in the moment. It is showing up day after day, even when motivation fades, even when the excitement of new goals has dimmed. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is the quiet force that separates men who achieve from men who wish. Every habit you form, every boundary you set for yourself compounds over time. A man who is disciplined does not need external validation. He does not rely on luck or circumstance. He relies on consistency, on routine, and on his commitment to excellence. Building discipline also means mastering your impulses. Life will constantly tempt you with shortcuts, excuses, and distractions. The easy path may seem attractive, but the disciplined man chooses the hard path, knowing that the hard path is the one that builds strength, character, and results. Every time you resist the urge to quit, every time you push through discomfort, you are strengthening the part of yourself that refuses to settle for mediocrity. Discipline is not about restriction, it is about freedom. The freedom to control your destiny, to achieve your goals, and to live a life of purpose. A man who has mastered discipline inspires respect, both from himself and from those around him. People notice the one who can endure, the one who can remain focused when others falter. Discipline is visible in how a man spends his time, in how he treats his responsibilities, and in how he handles adversity. It is the engine that drives achievement, the quiet force behind every great success story. To be a man is to embrace discipline as a core principle of life. It is to commit to consistent effort, to resist temptation, and to choose the path that leads to mastery and achievement. It is to understand that every great man, every successful life, and every fulfilled dream is built on the foundation of discipline. Without it, nothing else matters. To be a man is to say, I control my actions, I master my habits, I am disciplined, and through discipline, I am unstoppable. A man's greatest battlefield is not outside in the world, it is within his own mind. To be a man is to understand that your thoughts shape your reality, that your emotions guide your actions, and that mastery over both is the foundation of true power. Life will constantly challenge you with uncertainty, frustration, and moments that test your patience, your judgment, and your resolve. The man who lets fear, anger, or doubt dictate his choices will stumble again and again, no matter how talented or capable he may be. But the man who masters his mind and his emotions gains control over his destiny. He learns to think clearly when chaos surrounds him, to remain calm when pressure mounts, and to make decisions guided by reason rather than reaction. Mastery of the mind begins with awareness. You must observe your thoughts without judgment, recognize the patterns that hold you back, and consciously choose which thoughts to entertain and which to dismiss. Negative thinking, self-doubt, and indecision are not truths. They are habits that can be changed. A man who controls his mind understands the power of focus. He trains himself to concentrate on what matters most, to block out distractions, and to pursue his goals relentlessly. Every successful decision, every calculated risk, every act of leadership begins with a mind that is disciplined, clear, and intentional. Equally important is the mastery of emotions. Emotions are powerful. They can inspire greatness or destroy it. A man who allows anger to rule him may act rashly. A man who gives in to fear may retreat when he should advance. A man who succumbs to pride or envy may sabotage his own success. But the man who observes his emotions, acknowledges them, and then chooses how to respond is unstoppable. Emotional mastery does not mean suppressing feelings. It means harnessing them, transforming frustration into determination, fear into courage, and doubt into action. This mastery is cultivated through practice. It is cultivated by facing challenges, by pausing before reacting, and by asking, what is the best response, not the easiest one? It is cultivated through reflection, meditation, and deliberate focus on goals. Life will always attempt to distract, provoke, or destabilize you, but the man who has trained his mind and emotions can navigate any storm with clarity and confidence. His thoughts align with his intentions, his emotions fuel his purpose, and his actions become deliberate, powerful, and effective. A man who masters his mind and emotions commands respect, not through force, but through presence. People are drawn to clarity, composure, and decisiveness. A controlled mind leads to better choices, better relationships, and better results in every area of life. It allows a man to pursue his highest potential without being derailed by the noise of the world or the chaos within. To be a man is to cultivate inner strength, to train the mind and tame the emotions, and to live each day with awareness and intentionality. It is to say, I will not be ruled by my thoughts or my feelings. I will direct them, and in doing so, I will shape my life. True leadership begins not with titles, influence, or recognition. It begins within. To be a man is to understand that before you can lead others, you must first lead yourself. Your actions, your integrity, your character, these are the measures of real leadership. People will listen to words, but they follow deeds. They respect the man who acts consistently, who stands firm in his principles, and who demonstrates through his behavior what it means to be accountable, courageous, and disciplined. To lead by example is to show that strength is not just a matter of physical power or charm. It is the quiet, steadfast commitment to live with purpose, to face challenges with dignity, and to inspire through presence rather than proclamation. Leadership requires self-awareness. A man who leads by example knows his values, knows his strengths, and recognizes his weaknesses. He understands that leadership is not about perfection. It is about authenticity, integrity, and the willingness to take responsibility for his actions. When mistakes happen, he does not shift blame. When decisions are difficult, he does not avoid them. When challenges arise, he does not falter. Others watch, and they learn that real leadership is rooted in action, not words. The man who leads himself effectively naturally inspires those around him. His calm in crisis, his decisiveness under pressure, and his ability to navigate complexity with clarity create an environment where others are motivated to rise, to improve, and to follow. Inspiring others is also about service. A man who leads is not self-serving. He elevates others. He creates space for growth, recognizes talent, and encourages those around him to exceed their own expectations. By demonstrating commitment, courage, and perseverance, he becomes a living example of what is possible. Leadership is contagious. When you embody the principles you value, others are drawn to your example. Your actions speak louder than speeches, and the influence you wield is far more enduring than any temporary accolade. Challenges will test a man's leadership. People will doubt, circumstances will oppose, and outcomes may not align with intentions. Yet the man who truly leads remains unwavering. He models resilience, patience, and strategic thinking. He demonstrates that setbacks are not failures, they are lessons, opportunities to grow, adapt, and improve. Others will notice, and slowly, quietly, they will begin to emulate the qualities that define a true man. To lead by example is to recognize the profound impact of your choices, the subtle but powerful influence of your behavior, and the responsibility you hold in shaping the world around you. Every action, every decision, every moment of courage or integrity contributes to the legacy you leave. People do not remember words. They remember what they saw in you. To be a man is to lead with authenticity, to inspire through action, and to live in a way that empowers others to rise. It is to say, why, without hesitation, I will lead by example, and in doing so, I will elevate not only myself, but everyone around me. A man's greatness is not measured by his intentions or his ideas, but by his willingness to act. To be a man is to understand that vision without execution is nothing more than a dream, a fleeting thought that never leaves the mind. Life does not reward those who wait for perfect conditions or favorable circumstances. Life rewards those who step forward, who move despite fear, doubt, or uncertainty, and who persist when every obstacle seems insurmountable. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality, and a man who takes consistent, decisive action transforms potential into achievement. Taking action requires courage, discipline, and focus. It means committing to your goals with every ounce of energy you have and refusing to be paralyzed by hesitation. The path will not always be smooth. There will be failures, setbacks, and moments when progress feels impossible. But every failure is not the end. It is feedback, a lesson, an opportunity to adjust your approach and move forward smarter and stronger. The man who persists relentlessly understands that consistency outweighs perfection, and momentum outweighs temporary comfort. Every small step taken in the direction of purpose compounds over time, and every effort brings you closer to the life you are capable of building. Persistence is born from belief, the unshakable conviction that your efforts are meaningful, that your vision matters, and that the challenges you face are temporary. A man who persists does not give in to excuses or distractions. He understands that comfort is the enemy of progress, and that achievement is forged in the fires of discipline, sacrifice, and action. When the world tells you it is impossible, when circumstances try to convince you to quit, persistence becomes your weapon. It is the force that pushes you through fatigue, doubt, and frustration until your results speak louder than your words ever could. Action also teaches accountability. The man who acts takes responsibility for his results. He does not blame luck, circumstance, or others for his outcomes. Instead, he studies what went wrong, adjusts his approach, and tries again, stronger and wiser. In this way, action and persistence become inseparable from the character of a man. They define him not by what he wishes or what he plans, but by what he actually does and accomplishes. A man who takes action inspires others by example. People are drawn to those who move, who create, who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Action is contagious, and persistence commands respect. Those who act boldly shape their world, while those who hesitate are left behind. Life belongs to the man who is willing to step forward, who refuses to wait, and who keeps moving when others stop. To be a man is to act decisively, to persist through obstacles, and to say without hesitation, I will not wait for opportunity. I will create it. I will not quit when the path is hard. I will endure. I will rise, I will act, and I will achieve.